Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out this video today. Today I offer you a tutorial. The tutorial is for a project that is called Crown Jewels. This is a scarf and a beanie combination. This is part 2 of a 2-part series, and part 2 is the scarf. So this is kind of what it's looking like. And let me go ahead and open it up for you. So this particular project starts with 4 rows right here, and then it goes on to do a 4-row repeat, which repeats itself 9 times all the way down. And then at the end of the project, there is a final 4 rows, which is what I'm calling a final 4, which is not part of the repeat. It's beautiful. Just another close-up look. Okay. This particular project was made using Lion Brand Scarfie. And Lion Brand Scarfie is a bulky 5-weight yarn. It is on the thinner side of the 5-weight yarn family, so I recommend either using a bulky 5, like a thinner bulky 5, or a full worsted 4-weight yarn. Either one of those will work. The crochet hook that I used on this project was a 6mm crochet hook, and I used 932 yards of yarn for this project between the scarf and the beanie. So the beanie took 225 yards approximately. The balance of everything that I had left went right into the scarf. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. Have fun and enjoy. Hi friends, so for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use a bulky 5-weight yarn from Big Twist. This is their anti-pilling acrylic in the Gentle line. The colorway is charcoal. Okay. The crochet hook I'm going to use is a 6mm crochet hook from Prim, otherwise known as a US letter J. So to get started, what we need to do is create a slip knot on our hook. However you do that is fine, so long as the end result is this. And from here, what we need to do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. From here, we need to insert the tip of our crochet hook into the first chain. Grab our yarn, slip over to close, tug gently on your working yarn and your crochet hook to form a circle. From here, what we need to do is we need to chain 2. Chain 2, and these chain 2s do not count. They're literally used to grow out your project, okay? From here, we're going to go into our circle with 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 2. And then go back into the circle with 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. At the end of row 1, we're going to chain 2, which does not count, and turn our work. For row 2, it's going to be a row of half double crochets. In the first and in the last stitch of every row from here on out, these particular stitches will receive 3 stitches to grow out your scarf. Okay? So in the very first stitch, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now in the next 3 stitches, we're going to insert 1 half double crochet in each. Just like that. 1, 2, and 3. And now in your apex, you're going to do a half double crochet, chain 2, and half double crochet. Now you're going to insert a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. With 1 stitch remaining, you're going to insert 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So at the end of row 2, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of round 3. We've chained 2, we've turned our work. So to start out this round, this is the round of puff stitches. So to start out this round, what we need to do is insert 3 double crochets in the very first stitch of the row. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. So what we need to do now is chain 1 and skip 1. We're going to go into this next stitch right here with a puff stitch. So to do that, we yarn over, we go into our stitch, we draw a loop, go through 2. And we're going to repeat this 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you should have 5 stitches plus your beginning loop on the hook. So for a total of 6 loops. You're going to yarn over and go through all of that. You're going to chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. Just like that. You're going to skip the next stitch and go into the next one. So skip that one and you're going to go here. You're going to yarn over and go in and do another puff stitch. Draw a loop and go through 2 and create the puff by doing that 4 more times. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, yarn over and go through all the loops, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. So we're going to skip there, skip that stitch, and we're going to go into this last stitch right here, okay, right before the apex. So we're going to yarn over, go into that stitch, draw a loop, go through 2, and repeat that 4 more times. Just like that. You should have 6 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all of that. Chain 1 to lock, but not 1 to move on because there's nowhere to skip. So you're going to yarn over, go into the apex, and do a double crochet, just like that. You're going to chain 2, and you're going to go back into the apex with a double crochet. And then in the next stitch, which is right here, right there, see that little one right there? We don't go into that one. You're just going to go right into there. You're going to do a puff stitch right into there. And it gets 5 of these stitches that we just did on this side. So there's 1, yarn over, go in, draw a loop, go through 2. So there's 2. Do 3 more. Okay, for a total of 5. 5 stitches, and then your beginning loop. So you should have 6 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, go through all of that. Chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. So we're going to skip this stitch and we're going to go into the next stitch right there. Yarn over, go into your stitch, draw a loop, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through the stitch, draw a loop, go through 2. And you're going to create your puff by going 3 more times because we need 5. So that's 3. That's 4, that's 5. yarn over, go through all of that, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. So there's 2 puffs so far. So we're going to skip that stitch and we're going to go into this stitch right here. So skip there and we're going to go here. Yarn over, go into your stitch, just do the puff as we did previously. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. Yarn over, go through everything, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on, and you should have 2 stitches remaining, 1 and 2. We're going to skip that one and we're going to go here, but in that stitch we're going to do 3 double crochets. Yarn over, go into your stitch, making sure you grab both sides of the stitch. It may get a little tricky, but that's fine, take your time. You should have both sides. There you go. Draw a loop and do your double crochet as normal. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 3. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So you should have 3 puff stitches, 3 stitches on the one side, 3 puffs. You should have a double crochet, chain 2 double crochet, 3 puffs, and then 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so for row 4, what we're going to do is half double crochets. So as with the other row, we're going to insert 3 stitches into the first stitch here. So 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And we're going to do half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the chain space, just like that. And then we're going to do a half double crochet on top of the puff. So to find it, you just gently pull up and you'll see that triangle there. We're going to go in there. Yarn over, go in the stitch, draw a loop, and go through everything. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the chain space, and we're going to repeat that, going all the way up to the apex. Once on top of the puff, once in between the puffs. And now here we are at the top. So I just did the half double crochet on top of the puff. We're going to go ahead and do a half double crochet in that double crochet right there. And then a half double in the apex. Chain 2. Half double in the apex. This yarn is very splitty. I apologize. Okay. So there we are at the apex. We have half double, chain 2, half double. And then now what we need to do is go into that double crochet with a half double, just like this. Now we need to do a half double on top of the puff, which if you gently pull on the chain space, you'll see that triangle. That's where you want to go. And then a half double in between the puffs, half double on top of the puff, in between the puff, and then on top of the puff. Just gently pull up if you can't find it. It's right there. And then we're going to go ahead and do a half double in the chain space. And then there's 3 stitches remaining. So we're going to go ahead and do half double, and in that last stitch right there, it's going to be 3 half doubles. And just make sure to grab both parts of that stitch when you go in, just like that. 1, 2, and 3. So let's just take a quick look at our first 4 rows here. Beautiful. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to row 5. So row 5 begins the 4-row repeat. Okay. So from here, what we need to do is chain 2 as always and turn our work. All right, so this row here is a front post double crochet. So in the first stitch, we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And now what we need to do is front post double crochets in every stitch along the row. So let's start it off here. Yarn over, go in and around that half double crochet from the previous row. The first one's always the toughest in my opinion. Grab your yarn and perform your double crochet as normal. Then go into that next stitch, which was right next door. Do a front post just like that. And then now you're going to go ahead and do that to every stitch in the row. But we will continue working like this until we get to the apex. Yep. Here we go. Just like this, front post double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so here we are at the apex. All right, so it should look like that. You started the row with 3 regular double crochets, and then you have an entire row here of front post double crochets. Then you're going to go into the apex with a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, just like that. And then we're going to continue the front post double crochets all the way down the side until we get to the last stitch. So go on and do that, and I will meet you at the end of row 5. Okay, friends, so here I am. I literally have 1 stitch left in the row. So we're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets in the last stitch. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay. So now what we need to do for round 6, well, before we get there, let's chain 2 and turn our work for round 6, or for row 6, I'm sorry. I'm still in beanie mode. Okay, so for row 6, what we need to do is half double crochets. So 3 half double crochets in the first stitch. 1, did I just do a double crochet? Yes, I did. 3 half double crochets, just like that. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and we're going to do half double crochets in every stitch in the row, just like that. Piece of cake. When we get to the apex, you're going to do half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. I'm going to continue doing this, and I will meet you up here at the apex, okay? Okay, here I am at the apex. So we're going to do half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. And we're going to continue on with the half double crochets. Remember that little bump here, we don't go into that. We're going to go from the apex right into the stitch right there, okay? just like that. Continue on, and I shall see you at the end of the row. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 6 with 1 stitch remaining. And what we want to do is go into that stitch right there and put in 3 double crochets. Just like that. Okay? So at the end of row 6, our project should be looking like this. And if your counts are correct, your apex, your holes in your apex should be in a straight line. Okay? So there we have it. All right? Okay. So let me reposition the camera. Give me one second. Okay, so for row 7, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. This is going to be another puff stitch row. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in the first stitch, just like that. We're going to chain 1 and skip 1, go into the next stitch with a puff, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. Yarn over and go through everything. Chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. And you're going to continue doing that in every other stitch all the way down, and I will meet you at the apex. Okay, friends, so here I am at the apex of row 7. And so I just wanted to stress the importance of what I'm about to show you, because this is, again, the repeat for the rest of the pattern. So when you get close to the apex, you see how there is a stitch here and then this little one right here? You're going to have to go into that stitch for your puff. So, and that's every time that you get to this part of the rotation, okay? So you're going to go into that stitch right there with the puff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. Get a yarn over, go through everything, chain 1 to close it, but you're not going to chain 1 to move on because there's nowhere else to go. So you're going to go into the apex with a double crochet, you're going to chain 2, go back into that apex with a double crochet, and you're going to not go into this little piece here, you're going to go right into the stitch, and you're going to do a puff stitch right into that stitch right there. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. You're going to yarn over, go through everything, chain 1 to lock, now chain 1 to move on. You're going to skip that stitch and come over here and do a puff stitch in this stitch right here. So that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Yarn over, go through everything, lock, and move on. So go on and continue the rest of that, the rest of row 7, and I will meet you down here at the end, okay? Okay, friends, so we're approaching the end of row 7. Now, here I am down at the bottom, and you should have 2 stitches remaining. So I just completed this puff. We're going to chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on, and we're going to go right into that last stitch right here with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Okay, let's chain 2 and turn our work. Let's take a look at this. We back up a little bit. There we go. Now you see this right here? This will actually start to flatten out as you build your rows. So it may look like that now, but don't you worry. That will fix itself as you build your scarf out, okay? So here we are we've completed row 7, and we're going to go ahead and do row 8. So row 8 is going to be half double crochets. So to start here, in the first stitch, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to insert a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches right here. And then a half double crochet in the chain space. And then a half double crochet on top of that puff. And then half double crochet in between the puffs. And then on top of the puff. And then in between the puff. And you're going to continue doing that for round 8. And I shall see you at the apex. Okay, friends, so I just did a half double crochet above the puff. I just want to remind you that we want to make sure to not miss that double crochet before the apex. Just like that. And then you're going to go into the apex with a half double crochet, chain 2, and then go back into the apex with a half double crochet, and then do a half double crochet in that double crochet right here. And then you're going to go on top of the puff, and then in the puff, or in between the puff. On top, in between. On top, in between. Just like that. Okay? On top, and in between. Just like that. Okay? So continue doing that, and I'll see you right here in a brief second. Okay, so here I am at the end of row 8. Last stitch right there. We're going to go ahead and do 3 half double crochets in that stitch. Just like that. So pretty. Okay, so that, my friends, was the 4-row repeat. Okay, so it's going to be a front post double crochet, which creates this ridge, half double, puffs, half double. Very easy. Okay, again, it's going to be front post double, a row of half doubles, then a row of puffs, and then a row of half doubles. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and go with you again through the 4 rows. The next 4 rows I'm going to follow with you again. We're going to do this together. Okay? And then we'll take next steps after that. So we're going to go ahead and do row 9, which is a repeat. So essentially it's row 1 of the repeat. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to do front post double crochets in this round. So the first stitch gets double crochets. It's going to get 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And now, if you have to separate it with your fingers, just do what you need to. So you're going to yarn over, go in and around the half double crochet from the previous row. The first one is always tough. You're going to grab your yarn, go through 2, go through 2, just like that. And then go through the next one, just like that. And you're going to do a front post double crochet in every stitch of this particular row. Row 9, front post double crochets, just like this. Okay, continue on, and I will see you at the apex right here. Okay, so here I am at the apex. I've inserted front post double crochets in every stitch so far, with exception to the very first set of stitches there. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go and do a double crochet, chain 2, and then a double crochet, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do front post double crochets all the way down the side, and I will meet you down here at the end of the row. So front post double crochets in every stitch, just like this. Okay friends, so here I am at the end of row 9. Okay, so I just wanted to show you here that sometimes it may look like you have 2 stitches left, but you just have to remember the front posts just laid on top there. You should have just 1 stitch left. Okay, just finger your way through just to make sure. And then in the last stitch right there, just like this, you're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets, just like that. Okay, chain 2. Let's turn our work. It's looking so nice. Okay, so for row 10, it's going to be a row of half double crochets. So the first stitch, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And then a half double crochet in every stitch of the row, just like this. Insert half double crochets in every stitch of the row. Be mindful that when you get to the apex, it's half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and go up, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. Remember, don't go into that little bobble, go right into the stitch. Okay, just to be safe, I'm going to pause when we get to the apex. Okay, go on with half double crochets and I'll meet you at the top there. Okay, so here I am. I did a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. See that little bobble? You're going to not pay any mind to that. Once you come out of the apex, you're going to go right into the stitch, the full stitch, just like that, every time, okay, without fail. And then you're going to continue doing half double crochets all the way down the side, just like this. And I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, here we are at the end of the row. And there should be 1 stitch left right there. So you're going to go ahead and do 3 half double crochets in the last stitch right there. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. See how it's flattening out? A couple rows ago it was bowed, but now the further out you go, the straighter this will become naturally. Okay, so all right, so we're going to go ahead and do the next row here. We're going to go ahead and chain 2 and turn our work, just like this. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be row 11. If you ever get lost on your rows, just count your holes. Count your holes here, not counting the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10. And now you're on 11. So if you ever get lost. So 11 is going to be the puff stitch. And we're we're going to do 3 double crochets in the first stitch, just like this. So it's 2, and that's 3, just like that. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So we start the row with 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 and skip 1. In the next one here, we're going to go ahead and do our puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go through all the loops, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. And we're going to go ahead and skip and go to the next stitch. Sorry about that knot there, ran out of yarn. So we're going to go ahead and go into that stitch and do another puff. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. Yarn over, go through everything, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. And we're going to go ahead and continue this all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on. Go ahead and continue doing puff stitches all along here, and I will meet you at the apex, okay? Okay, friends, so here I am at the apex. And just yet another reminder, as I reminded you here and down here, when you're working the puff stitches, when you get to the apex, you're going to see a similar situation to this, where you have one stitch that looks bigger than the other here at the top. You're going to continue by skipping this one and going into the very last stitch right before the apex. You're going to need to get into that stitch, and you're going to put a puff there. Okay, just a reminder. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to be the case for every time you get here when you're working puffs. Every repeat, you're going to have that same situation happen. Okay, so you just chain 1 to lock. I accidentally chained 1 to move on, but I took it back out. So you're going to do your puff, you're going to chain to close, and then you're going to go into your apex with a double crochet. Just like that. You're going to chain 2, and you're going to go back into your apex with a double crochet. And then you see that little bobble? You're going to skip that, and you're going to go right into there. You're going to go right into the stitch with a puff. Four, 5. Yarn over, go through everything, chain 1 to lock, chain 1 to move on, and continue working your puff stitches until we get to the end of the row. Let me fix that. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Go through everything, lock, move on. Okay. I'll see you at the end of the row, right down here. Okay, friends, so here we are at the end of the puff row here. So there's 2 stitches remaining. I closed the puff, I locked it, and 1 to move on. And then we're going to go into that last stitch there, just like that. We're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Okay. So to do row 4 of the repeat, we're going to chain 2. And we're going to do a row of half double crochets. So if you're noticing, the half double crochets will always come before and after the puffs. It's to kind of lock it in and to pronounce the puffs to make them stand out more. So that's kind of my thought process when I designed that. And then you have the ridges that kind of like showcase the puffs. Anyway, so row 4 of the repeat is going to be half double crochets. So in the first stitch, 3 half double crochets, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do half double crochet the next 2 stitches. And then in the chain space, half double crochet, then on top of the puff, and then in between the puffs. On top of the puffs, in between the puffs. You're going to repeat that for the entire round, or I'm sorry, the entire row. I'm still in beanie mode. When you get to the top, it's going to be half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. And then you're going to continue down, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so just to recap, on top of the puff, in between the puff, on top of the puff, in between the puff. Okay, so I will see you at the end of this row. Okay friends, so here we are at the end of row 12. We're going to go to the last stitch. Sometimes it's hard to see when you're just looking at it like this. What you want to do is bend it back so you can see the V. See it? So we're going to go ahead and insert our hook into that V, draw a loop, and go through all the loops, 2 and 3. Chain 2. Okay, so there are 3 repeats. Well, 3 sets of 4. This first section doesn't count as the repeat. So technically, 2 complete sets of repeats. The repeat is as follows. It is a front post double crochet. And you can tell by the ribbing, right? So front post double crochet. And then you have a half double crochet. You have puffs. And then a half double crochet right before the ridge. So that is the repeat of our project here. Okay, so let me just pull up the original. Okay, so this is the original using Scarfie yarns. Actually, let me turn it around to show it how we're working it currently. Okay, so there's the beginning, right? So that doesn't count. So repeat 1, repeat 2. Okay, so you're going to repeat this repeat section 9 times, not including this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you're going to do that 4-row repeat 9 times. Okay? And then at the end here, there's an additional 4 rows. Just like this. Okay. So there's 4 rows here. And the 4 rows are as follows. Well, first of all, when you get to the end of your 9-row repeat, this is what it's going to look like. Just like that. Okay, you have your puff and then your half double crochet, which is right here. Okay, so then I added 4 more rows here. So you have the front post double crochet, which causes the ridge, and then you have a half double crochet, which is right here, and then a front post double crochet, and then a single crochet to finish. So what I'm going to do with you now is I'm going to do the last 4 rows of the project. Okay, so just to recap, the 4-row repeat that you're repeating 9 times, okay, and I'm going to have it listed in the description box if you need to reference it. It's going to be front post double crochet, which you're seeing right here. And then it's going to be a half double crochet, which is what you see right here in red. Then it's going to be the puff stitch, and then it's going to be a row of half double crochets, just like that. Okay? So once you repeat that 9 times, you're going to come to this. So this is the final 4, is what I'm calling it, the final 4. The final 4 is going to be front post double crochet, half double, front post double crochet, and single. Okay? That, again, will be in the description box, this information, for you to reference. Okay? But for tutorial purposes, I'm going to walk you through it. Okay, so imagine with me that all the repeats are done, all 9. Okay, and now we're on the final 4. So we chain 2, we're turning our work, all the things. All right, so for the final 4, we're going to do a front post double crochet to start. So this row here is going to get double crochets. So the first stitch, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And then we're going to thumb through here and do a front post double crochet around the stitch from the previous row. Hold on a second. Okay, so 3 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet, and then another front post double crochet next door there. Okay, so now front post double crochets in every stitch of the row, just like this. Okay, go ahead and do that, and I shall see you at the end of the row. Okay, friends, so we just ended, well, we're at the end of row 1 of the final 4. So we have 1 stitch remaining. Remember how I said just fold it back to see the V. You're going to go ahead into that stitch and put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, just like that. So chain 2 and turn our work. Okay. All right. So for row 2 of the final 4 rows, it's going to be a row of half double crochets, as I mentioned earlier. So the first stitch is going to get 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then each stitch is going to receive a half double crochet, just like that. Okay, and don't forget, in your apex, it's going to be 1 half double crochet, chain 2, 1 half double crochet. Okay, so I shall see you at the end of the round, or at the end of the row, sorry. Okay, friends, so I'm at the end here of row 2 of our final 4 with 1 stitch remaining. We're going to go ahead and go into that last stitch and put 3 half double crochets. Okay, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Okay, so row 3 of our final 4 is going to be another row of front post double crochets. So the first stitch is going to get 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then you're going to finger your way through here and insert your hook in and around the very first half double crochet, just like that. Draw a loop, go through 2 and go through 2. And then you're going to continue doing front post double crochets for the entire row. This is row 3 of the final 4. Oops. Just like that. So continue doing that, and I will see you at the end of the row. Don't forget, at the apex, it's going to be just a regular double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then in this very first stitch, you're going to go ahead and do a front post double crochet and continue all the way down. Okay, so I will see you at the end of the row. Okay, friends, so I ended row 3 of our final 4 with 3 double crochets. You see them right there. So we're going to go ahead and chain 2 and turn our work. So nice. Okay, so for the final row of the final 4, it's actually going to be single crochets. So in the first stitch right here, we're going to go ahead and do 3 single crochets. And we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in every stitch in the row. Just like this. And in the apex, it's going to get single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then continue on in your stitches there. Okay, so continue on with your single crochets, and I shall see you in just a second. Okay, friends, so I just ended the last row of the final 4 with 3 single crochets, just like that. And so to finish our project, what we want to do is chain 2, get a pair of scissors, cut a decently sized tail, just like that. Look how fast that split. That's so quick. Okay, anyway. We want to take our hook, just separate it like that. And we're going to take our index finger and our thumb, gently squeeze and pull down. It's going to create a double knot, just like that. It's literally impossible to get out, which is nice for us. Okay, now what we want to do is weave in our end. So, weave in our tail, rather. So take your yarn and wrap it over the eye of the needle, pinch, and then feed it through, just like that. Okay? And then, grabbing fibers along the way, we want to do a zigzag. So we want to go in one direction, pinch the eye so you don't lose the yarn. Then go back. Again, make sure you take fibers with you. Just like that. Pinch. And then do one final pass going this way. Just like that. And then take our scissors and trim it off. Perfect. And then for this bottom portion right here, what I like to do is just give it a little tug and trim that tail. Just like that. Let me go ahead and back out here. Okay, friends, so this is a mini-me version of our project. This is the wrong side, or the back side. This is the other side. So that's what this is looking like. Okay, again, we have our beginning set of 4 here. And then we did 2 complete repeats here. And then we did a final 4 here. Okay, so to do the project, again, this will be in the description box, but we want to do the first 4. And these 2 here, we want to repeat this 9 times. Okay, and then once you have your 9 repeats completed, then do your final 4, which is this right here. And the final product, again, as we've seen multiple times, I want to show it again, it's beautiful, is this piece of art. Okay, then we just take you through all the things. And then the final 4 on this one looks like that. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial, friends. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, and then of course hit the notification bell to stay updated with me and my channel. It's been a pleasure showing you this tutorial. I was very happy to do so. I look forward to doing more in the future. So until the next one, guys, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.